So I've been pretty clear with it at this point, and it's not to downplay really like, the danger with Corona, but you have to let people decide their own fate. And I just don't think there's going to be, I mean, small businesses, restaurants, bars, especially that industry, already were on their last legs. In this closing into or dying after reopening, closing, reopening, closing, most of them aren't going to make it. It's going to be a death blow. And I know if I was in that situation, it would be a very bitter pill to swallow to know something that potentially I've spent my entire life, decades, blood, sweat, tears, and I don't even have a say in, trying to keep it open and losing my livelihood. So I hate the decision. I don't think it's the politicians' decisions to make. I think at this point, it's up to the individual. And if you are, at risk in one of those categories, health, age, stay inside till, and it's a terrible answer, but there is no good answer, but stay inside till the vaccine is out. Other than that, there is going to be no way for these businesses to get back what they've lost.
Well, I was going to say, you look at restaurants in Pennsylvania, they had already taken away Thanksgiving Eve, one of the biggest nights of the year for these places, by suspending alcohol sales the night before that. Now you look at these restrictions, there's going to be no Christmas Eve, no Christmas Day, no New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. If you're these restaurant owners, business owners, and we talk to them, but from your opinion here, what do you do? If you're a restaurant owner or business owner, do you decide to stay open? Do you try, I think the fine, you'll get a fine, you'll get a warning, and there's the penalties, very little, and the state police certainly enforce it too much. What do you do here if you're one of those owners?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know the repercussions nearly enough. I would want to stay open. I would maybe disobey, but I mean, are the police going to put you in jail? Like, what's going to happen at some level? And again, it's not one of these decisions, but when you really look at it, politicians are I don't want to say they're playing God, but they're just telling other people, hey, I'm smarter than you. I know what's best for you. And it's not uniform. It's not uniform across the country. There's some politicians or areas or districts or towns where you can be open, and there's others that close. And then you have politicians who are saying, hey, trust me, do this, do that. And you have a wide array of politicians who aren't following their own advice. I mean, even, what was it, the mayor of Philadelphia, he went across, state lines and ate at a restaurant without a mask, and then he'll tell you, hey, you can't do that, but you're doing it. You have the governor of California who was at French Laundry eating without a mask in a restaurant. You had, I think, the mayor of Denver saying, don't travel on Thanksgiving when he's on vacation in Mexico. So these are the people making the rules, making the laws, and they're not even listening themselves. It's awful hard to put any faith in a government official when so many of them aren't following their own advice, but they're happily take away your business. I've said a million times, I don't think any of these politicians, if they had a direct relative or they themselves had a business that they would lose, would be saying what they're saying right now. And nothing is an easy decision. But my whole gist of it is knowing that we have been dealt a horrible hand here, you still have to let people decide how they want to play that hand. To just say, you don't have a choice. We're going to basically steal the right for you to earn a living. To me, that I can't believe it happens in this country. I really can't.
Well, it's just do what I say, not as I do sort of mentality here. Not only restaurants and bars, but also our casinos have to close for 3.5 weeks, our gyms. And now that we have a chance to talk to you, and I'm glad you've given us the time with casinos and Penn and Barstool, such a presence now in Pennsylvania and this Barstool Sportsbook. Does this closure for 3.5 weeks, how does that affect you guys, impact you guys at all?
Yeah, I mean, it stinks. I'm not intimately familiar with like the day-to-day workers at the casinos, but I know when Corona started, there was a mass furlough. Our Michigan casino was shut down. Luckily, we do have sports still going. So, I mean, it stinks. Anytime you disrupt, how people are earning money, it stinks, but we'll be all right. Thankfully, we have the sports book. A lot of people in Pennsylvania are playing it, so we have another way for people still, to give us transaction and earn a living. But anything like that, not just the casino, everything. It's very tough.
People in Pennsylvania love it. How are things going? Obviously, we just finished, NBA. We've got NFL right now in full swing. NBA is coming right back quick. Before we know it, baseball, college football, college basketball. How are things going? With the sports?
Yeah, it's been great. It has been great. It's been a great launch. Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh are huge Barstool cities. We have a loyal fan base. We've become part of the community, and they are supporting us, and we appreciate it. So it's been a pretty remarkable launch for us. And even with the sports thing, not to go full circle, but like if the sports would be running by a lot of these governors and politicians, they just wouldn't have happened. They would have been like, nope, we're not doing it. But because it's run as a business, they found ways to make it work. They got creative. As far as I know, in all the sports that have been played, there's been a lot of cases of corona. There hasn't been one like death. Hasn't been one serious sickness. And to me, that's the example of an industry that was just like, nope, we're going to get creative and figure it out. Why can't the governors and politicians figure that out for the restaurant bar industry? There are ways to do it. They just choose not to.
Agreed. And you even see players and coaches, they have false positives. They'll test negative the next day and the day after that, and it seems to just go away. I appreciate the time. Before we go, I know maybe a month or so or a few weeks ago, you would come to we're in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area in Pennsylvania. You would come here and done a bunch of the pizza reviews. And I know people are always debating, Jersey, okay, New Haven, obviously you like New York City, and then over here in this area, Pennsylvania, New Haven, Connecticut. How was it when you came here? I know you tried a bunch of places out in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre. How was that compared to what you've seen in other places?
So Scranton, good. So Scranton, and that's Scranton has a rivalry with Old Forge, right? Am I right about that?
Yes. There is.
Yeah, so I went to Old Forge. They have that certain type of pizza, and all the Scranton people are yelling at me. So we went back, and there were, I think, 2 or 3 places that I really liked. I forget the name. The first one I went to, it's an old place, and they got the sweet sauce at the other 2 that were like brothers, I think, that opened.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The sweet sauce is huge here. It's like Jerry's and a couple other places. And
yeah, Jerry's. So Jerry's one of the big ones, and then there was another one that's like the brother of Jerry's, essentially, and they're a big rivalry.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Well, it's funny because I went to school at Quinnipiac, which is right outside New Haven. So
well, that's the capital. New Haven's the capital. That is the pizza capital of the United States.